Welcome back to the deep dive. So if you're an HR leader or a manager, you're probably living through this massive contradiction right now.
A huge one, yeah.
You're just drowning in day one paperwork, but then everywhere you look, the news is all AI is transforming HR.
You see the glossy demos.
Exactly. You hit that AI hype wall, and you're quietly asking, are we failing to automate? Is my team about to be left behind?
And that worry, it isn't paranoia. It's completely validated by the sources we looked at. Our mission today is to cut through all of that noise.
Right.
We want to move past the magical thinking and look at the practical reality of using AI to turn your new hire onboarding chaos into something structured and smart.
And when we talk about being left behind, we aren't kidding. The data shows the momentum is already incredibly high. Gartner's reporting that as of January 2025, a massive 61% of organizations were already in the latter stages of Gen AI implementation.
The latter stages. So if you feel the pressure, you're absolutely right, dude. The race is on.
And the money proves it's not just a fad.
Not at all. The AI and HR market is valued at nearly $7 billion in 2025, and it's projected to more than double to over $14 billion by 2029.
Wow.
But the part you really care about, digital onboarding, that specific segment is expected to just surge from about $1.6 billion this year to over $8.3 billion by 2033.
That's just enormous numbers.
Yes.
But, okay, let's boil it down to the result. The key takeaway, the one stat that sells the whole project is this.
Yeah.
Companies that are implementing AI onboarding see an impressive 82% improvement in new hire retention rates. So, okay, let's unpack how that actually happens.
Well, that huge boost, it's not just about submitting forms faster. It's a psychological driver.
Okay.
AI-powered onboarding, yes, it automates the admin tasks, but the crucial part is that it personalizes the experience. It enhances that whole new hire journey.
So it changes the feeling of it.
Exactly. When the AI handles the paperwork perfectly, the employee feels instantly supported. It reduces that high anxiety feeling of starting a new job. And that support translates directly into engagement and retention.
That makes so much sense. It shifts the first impression from, I'm fighting with bureaucracy to this company has my back. But that sounds like a lot of different tech. How is this AI different from the simple automation HR has had for years?
It's a great question. We've really seen three major stages of evolution. Stage one, from around 2020 to 2023, that was simple rules-based automation, just repetitive task stuff.
Got it.
Stage two, say 2023 to 2025, brought in generative AI. So now it could create content like drafting personalized welcome messages or basic training modules.
And now we've hit stage three, which this seems to be the real game changer.
Correct. Stage three, which is happening now through 2027, is the rise of agentic AI. This is the fundamental shift. It's moving beyond just creating content or following rules.
Okay, so what does agentic actually mean in this context?
It means these systems are capable of autonomous decision-making with minimal human oversight. They don't just wait for an instruction, they see a pattern and they act on it.
So for the HR professional listening, this means you stop managing forms and you start managing strategy. What does that actually look like in practice, though?
Okay, think of it this way. Instead of you needing to realize a new hire lives in a high-tax state or needs specific legal paperwork.
Right, which can easily be missed.
The agentic AI system sees the data point, the address, the role, and it proactively sends the extra tax forms and the right legal documents without anyone in HR even having to think about it.
Okay, here is where it gets really interesting, but also where I can see the friction starting. Gartner predicts that by 2026, 40% of enterprise applications will be using these AI agents.
A huge jump.
A dramatic jump from less than 5% this year. But if these agents are making autonomous decisions, how do we keep legal and ethical oversight? Does speed just increase our compliance risk?
That is the essential question. The key is that the core function has to be supervised. You set guardrails. These systems are designed to operate within very specific, legally reviewed parameters.
This is the human role changes.
Exactly. The human role shifts from doing the transaction to auditing the system's policy. It's about getting the speed while managing the risk through really strict governance.
Okay, so the tech is here, and it's shifting fast. Let's talk brass tacks for the person who needs to justify the cost. What are the tangible ROI benefits that make this pay for itself beyond that amazing retention number?
The ROI is incredibly sharp. Organizations are reporting 53% faster onboarding completion. But here's the number that really changes the job description.
Okay.
A 75% reduction in the administrative workload for HR teams. And on top of that, a 73% drop in data collection errors.
Right, 75%. That literally shifts HR from being an admin function to a strategic one overnight. All that time is now free for coaching and relationship building.
Precisely. And that speed goes straight to the bottom line. New employees reach full functionality 40% faster. They become productive members of the team 35% sooner.
Wow.
Financially, it means companies are saving over $18,000 annually just from the retention and efficiency gains. Most of these systems pay for themselves within the first year.
That rapid return is so critical. We mentioned personalization driving retention. AI can now do this at a scale that used to take HR weeks, right?
Oh, absolutely. What's so fascinating is how the system can analyze a person's role, their skills, their experience, even their learning style, and then create a custom learning path in minutes.
And it adapts.
In real time. It'll prioritize a deep dive into specific software for an engineer, or it'll focus more on corporate culture for someone in sales. And for anyone looking for immediate wins, you don't have to overhaul everything at once. You can start with, baby steps.
So what are the absolute easiest workflows to tackle first? Where do you start?
Document automation is the real low-hanging fruit. AI systems can automatically generate contracts, offer letters, handle all the e-signature workflows.
I think every HR professional listening just breathed a sigh of relief at that.
I'm sure. Just imagining never having to manually correct a date across 3 different forms again, that alone has been shown to cut the HR admin workload by 75%.
That is a huge amount of time freed up. So what's next after the paper is gone?
Then you have AI chatbots and virtual assistants. They give you that 24/7 support. Look at a huge example, like Bank of America's assistant, Erica. It handles 58 million interactions a month.
Okay, most of us don't have Bank of America's budget, but the principle is the same.
Exactly. Even a mid-market company can realistically offload 70 to 80% of those where do I find the PTO policy type questions.
And then finally moving into that more strategic, proactive space.
That's predictive analytics. These systems give you real-time dashboards that can identify at-risk employees. They look at engagement patterns, behavioral signals, like if someone is delaying their essential training.
So you can step in before they disengage.
Precisely. It allows HR to intervene proactively before a new hire checks out or decides to leave.
Okay, the ROI is compelling, but the listener still needs a map. If they decide today, we need this, what's the practical 6-step framework to actually build this?
We distilled this down to a checklist for you, designed to, prevent that feeling of overwhelm. First, assess pain points. You have to audit your current workflow. Document what takes the most time.
Find the bottlenecks.
Exactly. 2, define clear objectives. Set measurable goals. Something like improve 90-day retention by 15% or cut admin time by 50%.
Right, something concrete.
3, choose tools wisely. Prioritize integration with your existing HR systems. And for regulated industries like healthcare, compliance features are just non-negotiable.
Number 4.
Start with a pilot program. Limit the rollout. Just one department, maybe 20 to 50 new hires for 3 to 6 months. Get real feedback before you go company-wide.
That seems critical. And what about the team itself?
That's 5. Train your HR team, but focus the training on interpreting the analytics, not just clicking buttons. Emphasize how AI augments their role so they can focus on the human element.
And finally.
6, roll out gradually and monitor closely. Keep tracking your KPIs retention, time to productivity, and aim for a target employee satisfaction score of, say, 4.5 out of 5.
That structured rollout is so important for getting people on board. But, no big transformation is ever perfectly smooth. What are the common challenges people should expect?
There are really 3 main roadblocks: data, infrastructure, and people. Data privacy and security is always number 1. You have to have clear governance, encryption, and choose vendors with the right certifications, like HIPAA compliance if you need it.
And integration, right? If a company's been running on the same systems for a decade, that's a huge hurdle.
It is. Integration with legacy systems means you have to prioritize vendors that offer robust API integrations. If they don't connect easily, you have to be ready to invest in middleware to bridge that gap.
And finally, the people problem. Resistance to change from the HR team itself.
You overcome that with radical transparency. People might fear their jobs are at risk, so you have to emphasize that this frees them from the boring stuff to focus on high-value human relationships.
Right, keep the human touch points.
Absolutely, especially for high-touch roles.
So if that's the roadmap for today, let's fast forward. What does this all mean for the long term? What are the big shifts we should be watching for in 2026 and beyond?
Well, we're moving into an era of really deep integration. Expect the continued rise of agentic AI, so systems that actively manage the hiring cycle, not just react to it.
And personalization becomes the default.
Yes, hyper-personalization becomes standard. By 2025, 70% of organizations will be using AI for these experiences. Generic orientation will just be a thing of the past.
And I find this idea of the superworker fascinating.
That's the concept where AI stops being just a tool and becomes more of a coworker, augmenting human strategy and creativity. We'll also see predictive onboarding, where systems anticipate needs before they even come up,
Like what?
like proactively suggesting career paths on day one based on an employee's observed skills.
And finally, making the whole experience truly immersive.
Yes, the integration of AR and VR. This will create these incredible experiences, virtual office tours, hands-on training simulations. It's especially valuable for global teams.
This has been a true deep dive. We've really moved from the AI hype to a proven reality. The tech is accessible, the data is sharp, and it delivers those huge results like that 82% retention improvement and a 40% faster time to productivity.
It's here. The data proves the value and the accessibility. The question for every HR leader is really no longer if you should do this, but, how quickly can you get a pilot program going to stay competitive?
And that competitiveness ties right back to the bottom line. Our sources say organizations with engaged workforces see 8 to 10% revenue growth and outperform their peers by 147% in earnings per share.
Huge numbers.
So we'll leave you with this thought. If AI handles all the transactional administration, what entirely new strategic role could you, the HR professional, invent to drive that kind of massive financial outcome and just fundamentally elevate your own career?